Good afternoon, Eagles Nation. Welcome back to the nest for another chapter of this epic season. The Eagles sit at 4-0, but the road here hasn't been easy. Every single game, every battle has come down to the wire. And that's exactly where this team shows its true identity. When the pressure is at its highest, when everything hangs on a single play, they find a way to win. These have been victories built on grit, resilience, and the perfect balance between star power and depth. A defense that bends but doesn't break, and an offense still searching for consistency but protecting the football. Not a single turnover in 4 games. And now comes the challenge. A dangerous Denver Broncos squad, carrying one of the league's best defenses and a ground game that's tough to stop. This is the moment for the offensive line to tighten up, open the lanes for Saquon Barkley, and stamp the Philadelphia Eagles mark on yet another fight at Lincoln Financial Field. So do me a favor, smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's ride every play together. Because here, it's different. Here, it's passion. Here, it's green blood. Fly, Eagles, fly. The Eagles sit at 4-0, but it hasn't exactly been the smooth, dominant ride that some expected. Every single game has come down to one score, and yet, that's exactly where this team thrives. Those moments when the pressure is highest, when the game teeters on the edge. Whether it was grinding out a win against Dallas, taking down Kansas City on the road, storming back against the Rams with 26 unanswered points, or surviving Tampa's late push after jumping ahead 31-13, Philadelphia has found a way to finish. That's the mark of a team with toughness, resilience, and maybe most importantly, balance between star power and depth. What makes this start so interesting is how different the storylines are depending on which side of the ball you look at. On offense, Kevin Patullo is still trying to find rhythm as a first-time play caller. It hasn't been smooth, but there's credit due. 4 games in, and not a single offensive turnover. That's a huge factor in why this team is winning these nail-biters. But the flip side is clear. The offense has lacked consistency and explosive plays. We've seen flashes, big second-half fireworks against the Rams, creative wrinkles and gutsy play calling against the Bucs in the first half, but this group has not yet delivered a complete 4-quarter performance. Meanwhile, the defense under Vic Fangio has been tested. They've given up big plays. Those brutal 70-yarders against Tampa stand out. But when it matters most, they've delivered. Bending without breaking, forcing turnovers, and coming up with clutch stops in crunch time.
That's why despite some shaky stretches, this defense feels like it's only going to get stronger as the season rolls on. Now let's look at what lies ahead, a rare showdown with the Denver Broncos at Lincoln Financial Field. The Eagles are slight favorites at 3.5 points, but this is no pushover opponent. Denver comes in with one of the league's best defenses, allowing just 16.8 points per game, second best in the NFL. Their running game has been extremely effective, ranking 5th with over 143 yards per contest. With J.K. Dobbins rejuvenated and rookie R.J. Harvey emerging as a real weapon, the Broncos are leaning on that ground attack to carry them while Bo Nix adjusts to his second year in the league. For Philadelphia, this matchup comes with both challenges and opportunities. The offensive line, usually the backbone of this team, has to clean things up. Jordan Mailata has held his ground, but too many missed assignments across the line have cost the Eagles explosive plays. Lane Johnson has been banged up with a shoulder stinger, and Landon Dickerson has struggled. If this line can stabilize, Saquon Barkley can finally get going. He hasn't looked like his 2024 version statistically, 77 carries for just 237 yards, but he hasn't lost a step. Defenses are stacking boxes, daring the Eagles to win elsewhere, and the line hasn't consistently opened lanes. This week presents a chance to shift that narrative. And then there's A.J. Brown. Frustrations are boiling because the offense hasn't been designed to maximize him consistently. Some games he's targeted heavily, other times he's barely in the script. Against Patrick Surtain, last year's Defensive Player of the Year, this will be one of the NFL's premier matchups of the week. Elite receiver against elite cornerback. But the key isn't just throwing at Surtain, it's about creativity, using motion, in-breaking routes, and smart play designs to free Brown and keep him engaged. Because when he's hot, this entire offense levels up. It's also worth pointing out that Philadelphia comes in with advantages Denver doesn't. The Eagles are at home, winners of 13 straight at Lincoln Financial Field. That's an incredible run that has turned the Link into a true fortress again. Add to that the rest advantage. Philadelphia played early on Sunday, while Denver just came off a Monday night game and had to travel across the country. Body clock, rest, and crowd noise, it all stacks in the Eagles' favor. So here's the big question for this week. Can the Eagles finally put together a full, four-quarter offensive performance against one of the NFL's toughest defenses? Or will it once again come down to a one-score finish, relying on grit and clutch plays in the final minutes? If the Eagles are going to get this thing right offensively, it starts with establishing balance and playing complementary football. Right now, the passing game isn't helping the run game, and the run game isn't helping the passing attack. That's why Saquon Barkley's rushing totals have dipped every single week. It's not a matter of him losing speed or power. He still looks explosive. It's that defenses know they can key in on him because the Eagles aren't consistently hitting through the air. Fixing this is about execution. Jordan Mailata said it perfectly after the last game. We're a block away here, a block away there, from breaking off big plays. Those missed assignments can't keep happening, especially against a Denver front that thrives on winning in the trenches. Now, if there's one area to target on the Broncos defense, it's their linebacking core. Dre Greenlaw is out, and while Alex Singleton has stepped up as their most productive linebacker, he's not a guy who thrives in coverage. This is where Kevin Patullo can get creative. Dallas Goedert has been heating up with 3 touchdowns in his last 2 games, and he should be heavily involved over the middle. Saquon out of the backfield on wheel routes or delayed screens could be a mismatch nightmare, and A.J. Brown on in-breaking routes is his bread and butter. These are the areas where Denver is vulnerable, and it's up to the Eagles to hammer them. Of course, the big chess match is A.J. Brown against Patrick Surtain. Surtain is as good as it gets, the reigning defensive player of the year, and he's physical, disciplined, and rarely caught out of position. This is where Philadelphia needs to move Brown around the formation, get him off press coverage with motion, and use route combinations to free him up. If they line him up wide and just expect him to win every snap one-on-one, that's asking for frustration. Scheme him open, get him touches early, and let him build momentum. Because when A.J. Brown gets rolling, defenses have to adjust, and that opens lanes for everyone else. Another critical factor is Jalen Hurts. He hasn't turned the ball over once this season, which is a huge reason why the Eagles are 4-0. But now comes the next step, pushing the ball with confidence and creating explosives. Against Tampa Bay, there were flashes of that creativity and aggressiveness in the first half before things fell flat. Against the Rams, it was the opposite, an ugly start, but an explosive second half. This is the week Hurts needs to string it all together. He doesn't have to put up video game numbers, but he does need to show command from start to finish. And let's not overlook the Broncos' offense. Yes, Bo Nix has been up and down, but Denver is committed to running the ball. They're averaging 143 rushing yards a game, 5th best in the league. J.K. Dobbins has been steady, and R.J. Harvey adds a burst of explosiveness. Denver's offensive line deserves credit. It's one of the better units in football, even if it doesn't get the headlines. If the Eagles don't bottle up the run early, it allows Nix to play balanced football, and that's when he's most comfortable. But if Philadelphia jumps ahead and forces Nix into a pass-heavy game, that's when mistakes come. He's already thrown 4 interceptions this year, and this Eagles defense has a knack for turning pressure into takeaways. What I also find fascinating is the clash inside the red zone. Denver owns the #1 red zone defense in the NFL. Teams are only scoring touchdowns 25% of the time. But Philadelphia counters with the #1 red zone offense in football. 11 trips inside the 20, 11 touchdowns. That's an incredible stat, and something has to give on Sunday. Will it be Denver's defense that cracks, or will Philadelphia's perfect streak finally break? That's the type of heavyweight battle that could decide this game. In the end, this feels like a game that will test the Eagles in all the right ways. They're at home, they have the rest advantage, and they're the more complete team. But this Broncos defense is legit, and if Philadelphia's offense doesn't clean up the inconsistencies, this could once again come down to a tense, one-score finish. So, Eagles fans, what do you think? Will Philadelphia finally deliver a full, four-quarter performance and show us the offense we've been waiting for? Or will it once again come down to clutch moments in the final drive at Lincoln Financial Field? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and of course, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's next. Fly, Eagles, fly. Check out the videos on screen right now for more Eagles coverage. And let's drill down even further, because this upcoming game is more than just a test. It's a statement opportunity. The Broncos defense is stacked, no doubt, but this is exactly the type of challenge that can define the Eagles' season. Philadelphia hasn't looked like the offensive powerhouse many expected, yet they're still unbeaten. Imagine what happens when the offense finally clicks. That's why all eyes will be on Kevin Patullo. How does he handle his first major test against a defense that shuts teams down in the red zone and thrives on making quarterbacks uncomfortable? If you want to expose Denver, it starts with tempo. The Broncos rely on dictating pace, controlling the ground game, and forcing opponents into obvious passing downs. If the Eagles can go hurry up, mix in RPOs, and keep the defense from getting set, it takes away a lot of Denver's strength. Jalen Hurts is at his best when he's unpredictable, when he's not just a passer, not just a runner, but a dual threat forcing linebackers and safeties to hesitate. That's the version of Hurts we need to see at the link. Another factor is special teams. It doesn't get talked about enough, but Denver has one of the more well-coached units in the league under their coordinator, and they've flipped field position all season. The Eagles can't afford to get stuck starting deep in their own territory possession after possession. A spark from Britton Covey or a clutch punt from Braden Mann could be the hidden edge in a tight game. These are the little things that matter when you're playing a defensive juggernaut like the Broncos. On defense, it comes down to discipline. Vic Fangio knows Bo Nix can be rattled. He's already thrown 4 interceptions, and when pressured, his mechanics can unravel. But that only works if you stop the run on early downs. If J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey are picking up chunk yardage, suddenly Nix is in comfortable play-action looks, and that's when Marvin Mims or Cortland Sutton can hurt you. Fangio's defense has to bottle up the ground game, force Nix into long third downs, and then unleash the pass rush. That's where Josh Sweat, Jalen Carter, if healthy, and Haason Reddick can turn this game into a nightmare for Denver. Speaking of health, that's another storyline to track. Abuanlu is on injured reserve with a triceps injury, which means this could be the first time we see Azeez Ojulari active this season. Lane Johnson's shoulder is something to monitor too, and Tyler Steen's knee scare in the last game adds more stress to the offensive line's continuity. The good news? Lane has shown time and time again he'll battle through injuries, but every snap matters against a front this disciplined. And don't underestimate the environment. Lincoln